Hey, my name is Brent here on Cloudy with the Chance of Meeples. Time to look at another Exit the Game, the Hunt Through Amsterdam. This is the second of the three latest Exit the Game installments. I feel every year, Exit the Game, they release like three of them. And so this year, they also did the Magical Academy, which I reviewed this. My thoughts on this one in the description of this video. And then the third, rounding it out, would be Prison Break, which is actually a team one. Haven't done this one at their time of recording. As you can see, it's still in the cellophane. But we are going to look at the Hunt Through Amsterdam. Can you solve the riddles and find the missing masterpiece? The whole concept of this one is there's one final painting from Vincent Van Gogh that's been hidden away, and you're trying to find it before, other people find it. Let's just say that's thematically what's in this one. It's rated 3 out of 5 for difficulty, so maybe leaning a little bit on the harder side, but I'll show you what's in this box. This will be spoiler-free. I'm not going to open up any of the contents in the box, like none of the cards, nothing like that. But I want to show you what you get inside this one if Exit the Game is a new system or a new game to you, and you haven't done one of these before, but it's an escape room style game in a box. So I'll show you what's in this box in the radar overview, my final forecast coming up. Cue the thunder. So the radar overview / unboxing of Exit the Game, the Hunt Through Amsterdam, looks something like this. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to open up any of the cards. We're gonna look what's inside this box, and it's all set obviously in Amsterdam. A clue to a previously unknown masterpiece by Vincent Van Gogh has been discovered in Amsterdam. So let's look at what's inside this box. Level is 3 out of 5, so one of the harder ones, not the hardest. That would be 4 out of 5. Not going to show too much. You got the rule book, much like all other Exit games. And then it says the game begins. It does say that you should or can download a helper app from Cosmos, which has background music, which that's what we do. You got decoder wheel, mystery items, punch outs. Not gonna do anything else. I'm assuming this is the start. You may open this sheet. Again, I'm not going to open this up. Hidden writings, different things, and the cards, which again, I'm not going to open up. So that's what you get in this one. Not much, but we'll have to see. Let's move on over now and talk about the final forecast. So the final forecast for Exit the Game, the Hunt Through Amsterdam. A story in which you are trying to find this missing piece of artwork from Vincent Van Gogh. I will say the majority of these Exit the Games, the story is kind of like secondary. It's there, but it's not necessarily over thematic. They're very whatever. So I personally don't do these to get immersed in this story. Okay? But I did enjoy the story in this. You're kind of like racing through the city of Amsterdam, and you're trying to, follow these clues with the help of this museum director to find this painting before someone else did. So I thought the theme was pretty decent in this one, or the story was pretty decent in this one. But let's talk about the riddles. In these, there's 10 riddles, and I have all the solution cards right here in front of me. And typically I find in Exit the Game, there's typically like one kind of grandiose puzzle, one puzzle that's kind of like, hey, that's really neat how they did that, and then sometimes a couple duds. Just shooting straight, I feel that sometimes there's a couple duds. In this one, I feel there was 0 duds. I enjoyed every one of these puzzles. We got stuck. We didn't get stuck. It was a user error on one of them. We ended up getting 6 out of 10 stars, which we typically, and when I say we, my wife and I, Nicole, we typically don't do well on these. But we did it in 97 minutes, which is one of the fastest we've ever done. And I was actually surprised because going into this one, it's rated 3 out of 5. And so I was expecting it to be on the harder side, but ironically, we actually did this faster than we did the Magical Academy, which is rated 2 out of 5. But again, if you want to know my final forecast on my Magical Academy, check the link in the description of this video. But going in, I was like, 3 out of 5. Abandoned Cabin, my favorite one, is rated 3 out of 5, I believe, or 2.5 or whatever. So I was like, this will be along that line of difficulty. We found this one actually pretty easy for a 3 out of 5. I will also say that often when we do Exit the Games, we do them in the evening. And this time we did it on a rainy day in the afternoon or mid-morning. And so maybe I was more alert or what have you. But going through these solutions, which I typically go through at the end just to kind of see how they, walk you through them or whatever. We figured them all out, but I always like just like imagining and going through them again in my memory and whatnot. I thought they were really cool. At the same time, there were a couple I can think will cause hiccups for some people, that they are a little bit obscure. But this time we figured them out. Sometimes there's other ones that are ambiguous, and it's like, how did they get that? A little far-fetched. You may find that in this one, but I didn't. And that's actually kind of a crazy thing about Exit the Game, where people just see things differently. They process things differently. And so I love this one. Nicole and I, we finished it, and we just chatted about it, and we're like, man, this is like one of the best ones I've done. Like, this is like seriously that good. The puzzle at the end, the big grandiose one, it wasn't anything crazy, but the way that they get you to figure out numbers. The thing about Exit the Game is you're always trying to boil things down to a 3-digit code, or in some of them, colors. And obviously with like language, translation, it's harder sometimes, I'd imagine, to do, translating words from English to German or from different languages. But numbers might be a little easier. So this one predominantly uses the number system. I like the colors, but this one uses the number system. But I don't know, I just found this one to be really cool, how they got you to figure out some of the numbers. And I don't want to like say anything more, but they did that in a really creative way, and they used the components in a creative way. And one of the ways I was like, this is exactly what it's going to be. I told Nicole when we started, I figured something out already. And then with user error, we got stumped, and that's the only one we needed a solution. Not because we couldn't figure it out, because it was just too obscure, but we couldn't figure it out because we had a user error and we did something wrong. But as I go through these, I'm like, man, yeah, that was really cool. They used the components in this one really, really neat. There was one, you need scissors, and you actually need scissors kind of virtually from the beginning and the end. The bookcases, bookend puzzles in this one, you need. And I was actually nervous in the first one because it says you need scissors, but it's kind of like open. And I was like, I really don't want to cut anything because I'm scared I'm going to mess things up. But it turns out you won't mess it up. If you're doing this and you're doing the first one, you cut out what you need to cut out, and you'll figure it out, and you won't mess anything up. Or you shouldn't mess anything up. But overall, if you've done a whole bunch of Exit the Games and you want another one, like, this is an absolutely fantastic one. Like, I'm going to give this one an 85% chance of Meeples. It is one of the best ones out there. Just the things that they've done in this one, the things that they've hidden, a couple little surprises. Again, there are a couple in there that maybe are a little bit vague, but we figured them out. And so that will reflect on my thoughts on it. Of course, it could swing the other way. If we wouldn't have figured it out because it was too vague, it could go the other way. But we were able to figure it out. And like I said, we've done tons of these, over 20 of these. And so I think this is fantastic. 85% chance of Meeples for Exit the Game, the Hunt Through Amsterdam. If you're looking for a fun family activity, it says 1 to 2 hours, 1 to 4 players. I think these are like perfect for like just 2 players. Doing this with 4, I think, would have been a little chaotic because I don't feel there's enough things to go around for everybody. I also say this is a linear one to a degree. You open up things as you go, but you may not have everything you need at the start. Or if you open up some things, you may not use everything right then and there. You have to save some stuff. So you have to be a little bit organized in this one. But absolutely fantastic. 85% chance of meeples for Exit the Game, The Hunt Through Amsterdam. Check it out. Until next time, my name is Brent. Grab your umbrella. The forecast is cloudy with a chance of meeples.